My name's Artemis, and being in this fandom, you tend to hear the same stuff repeated over and over again, but one of the most prolific things that sticks in my mind is, you need to grow up. A lot of people seem to take a serious issue with adults enjoying things of a seemingly childish nature. And there's a weird expectation from society that when you reach a certain age, you've got to give up and forego all of these things just to appear more mature. And if that isn't one of the most damaging things that people have to deal with, then I don't know what is. The furry fandom, and in fact internet culture as a whole, is a wickedly diverse place full of people from all different walks of life, and you're free to enjoy whatever it is you want to enjoy, within reason. Don't fucking forget that, within reason. You see, here we like to welcome and accept exactly what people like to enjoy and focus their interests on. Do you like one of those kids' TV shows that's all animated and cute? Wonderful, there's so many people here who like that too. You can find plenty of friends who share that interest. Do you prefer to dress all cute and cuddly rather than bland and boring? Perfect! Comfort is the best thing in the world, and you can definitely wear what you want here. Are you obsessed with cute and fluffy slippers that feel far better on your soft pizzas than shoes ever will? Excellent! You can wear those anywhere you want, and that doesn't really matter. You can wear them on the bus, on the train, at cons, in the pub. You can share that love with everybody!
Yeah, I think that might just be you on that one, boy.
Yeah, well, whatever, you get my point anyway. It doesn't really matter if the things that you enjoy aren't the most grown-up and adult things in the fucking world. It's the fact that they bring you happiness and joy that really matters, and that's what matters here at the end of the day. But in the crushing reality of the day-to-day life we all are forced to suffer through, we're told we have to hide those things and keep them private so that we appear more serious and professional. Anything that challenges the societal norms that we all know and loathe should be pushed away, feared and ostracized, and doing so will help boost your little self-worth and morality and maturity levels, and also your sense of entitlement to near rich white girl levels. Oh, okay, so you like to wear your hair in brightly coloured, elaborate styles. Okay. Well, you see, that seems to contradict our uniform policy. So it says here, we don't like customers seeing our employees as anything less than soulless corporate shills that force our message of greed. Want to go and see that new Disney film that's out at the cinema? You better be taking kids with you unless you want to suffer through the glares from the bored, pent-up housewives who gotta protect their little darlings away from the slightly Jimmy Savile look-alike with the neck beard in the back row. Want to buy those cute fluffy socks with the little puppy design? Well, you better make up some bullshit story about how they're a Christmas present to avoid the raised eyebrows from the cashier.
Wow, you're still salty about that, aren't you?
There was no need to give that glare, okay? As if that was the weirdest fucking thing she's ever sold. But the point is, we are trained from a young age to shun these things that we enjoy when you get past a certain age, and that we will be judged harshly by society if we don't. Not the suffering through a childhood, hearing phrases such as, I'll tell you when you're a bit older and you're too young to understand, you'll likely have a deep burning desire to be as adult and grown up as you can be. But what exactly is an adult, and how should an adult be? From a very early age, we are constantly seeing things that influence our perceptions on what we think an adult should, and more importantly, should not be. It comes from TV shows, comics, books, films, teachers, actual adults, and obviously our parents. Thing is, that's not an exact indictment. Let's say we grew up in the 90s, but our parents didn't, so what they think will be an adult and how they're going to act is actually more akin to how they grew up and what their parents showed them. Overall, it all boils down to the fact that what an adult should and shouldn't be has a very 1950s feel to it. Ah, there you are, old chap. Jolly good that you popped round to inspect what a true mature man should be. First of all, notice my dapper attire. No childish hints here at all whatsoever. No, in fact, I am dressed smartly, cleanly, and ready to greet the world with class, dignity, and just a touch of PTSD from World War II. Secondly, you'll notice I speak cleanly, clearly, and confidently, with an air of success and confidence that I gleaned from actors and TV shows and my father, who beat it roughly into me after suffering through his alcoholism in the Great Depression. And while I have my cup of tea right now, you might often find me glancing through a newspaper, taking in the current events and desperately trying to pretend that they in some way influence my life directly. And of course, you might notice the complete lack of anything childish or any sense that I enjoy something. Can't have any reminders about that I'm not anything more than just a classic, quiet, dignified English gentleman. Cheers. Of course, that barely fits what an adult is these days. In fact, now that I think about it, I'm not sure it ever really existed outside of film and TV. Now, you see, what makes an adult these days is actually closer to the kind of shit you see in beer adverts and stupid fucking comedies starring Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. See, the blokes are all hard lads who love having a pint and watching sports and, oh god, look at that girl, I'd like to get a bit up her skirt, ooh. And while the stereotypical woman has kind of evolved over the years from that kind of I Dream of Jeannie housewife of the 50s to well, modern day stereotypical women are laser fucking focused on their career, incredibly professional, high above everybody else, and completely sterile until they suddenly U-turn at some point just before their 30s and apparently do want kids.
Just to make it clear, we're just stating stereotypes here. We're not saying that they're true, we're not condoning them, so please don't rain the fire down on us for that.
Yeah, exactly what he said. Like, don't rain down your wrath on us for that. I mean, Jesus, we're gonna do so much more to incur your anger than just that. Just you wait. You see, when faced with all of this, it really appears like you've got two choices. Either A, you admit that it's all bullshit and you're not gonna fucking live your life by someone else's rules. You're gonna take all the consequences and results that you can and just do what makes you happy. Or B, you oppress the sides of you that don't exactly fit the societal norms in an effort to fit in better with the wider world, regardless of the kind of damage that could do to your sanity and your life. The world in which we live in gets a little bit more accepting each and every day, although admittedly we have to scratch and claw for each tiny little bit of acceptance that does come our way. You can be what you want and live your life how you want, but just because some people accept it doesn't mean everyone accepts it. The world is still full of people who adhere to the old stereotypes and tropes, and trying to live openly amongst them will just invite all of their scorn and fucking rage. I mean, look at them bronies. They all came together through a love of a children's TV show that was in no way made for them, but hell, it made them happy, so they ran with it. Good for them. Apart from the fact that they've been roundly ridiculed and lambasted by the media and by most adults as apparently having the perception of being obese freaks who live in their parents' basements having sex with Pinkie Pie plushies. There never seems to be a middle ground or a grey area for them, like the whole sort of, oh, I can see how they would like it, but it's not for me, or, it's a little bit odd, but okay, if that's what they like, it's fine. It's always, it's a TV show for kids, you shouldn't like it, or you're a fucking pervert. And I suppose you could see that these sort of people pushing you away is a good thing. I mean, these aren't the exact kind of assholes that you want in your life, is it? I mean, fuck them, you found a TV show that you like, and if they want to go off and enjoy the shit like EastEnders and the X Factor, then fine. That's punishment enough for them, really, isn't it? Of course, it's always going to be just a little bit easier to fake it and fit in. Hide all of your guilty pleasures away from the masses and pretend you're one of them. Well, easier in one sense, but repressing all the things you enjoy is never going to be fun, or healthy for that matter. I mean, let's flip the whole brony example on its head. Let's say that, yes, you love the show, but your workmates are ripping the shit out of people who enjoy the show, ripping the shit out of the show itself. You're going to have to sit there and just pretend that you hate it as well. You have to sit there and potentially even shit all over it yourself. You have to listen to these people who you have to work with, tear down something you love, and attack the people that you like to spend your time with. I mean, how are you gonna deal with that? How are you supposed to deal with that? That's a fucking horrid thing to go through, just to fit in with people that you clearly do not match up with. And it does boil down to the whole, is it worth it? Is it easier to do that and live a little quiet life with these dickheads and avoid all the arseache? I mean, it would sure make your professional life go a lot easier if they thought you were just some quiet dude who likes golf and cars rather than some closeted pervert with a preference for ponies.
Once again, just making it clear, we're not implying or stating that all bronies are lewd perverts, okay?
Jesus Christ, are you worried about being sued or something? Calm the fuck down. Doesn't really seem like either of these is 100% correct, does it? I mean, I can tell you which one I'd prefer, but neither of them seem perfect. But these aren't the only ways the damage can be shown, and in fact there is one much harder scenario that often plays out with people. Let's imagine that you swung wildly from one of these to the other. You spent all of your life repressing yourself and your interests to fit in better with the wider world, and then you discovered something like the furry fandom. It came along and you realised there was a place where you could be exactly what you wanted to be and act how you wanted to act and could enjoy that freedom. It would be, at the same time, both incredibly fucking terrifying to enter into it, but also incredibly liberating. You'd be able to come in and finally let loose the shackles that you held in your day-to-day life, but you don't have to break all of those mental blocks and feel like, well, I want to go and act all cute, but I've had to spend so much time not acting cute, I don't know if I know how to. And even when you are able to finally get comfortable and work your way into a fandom like this, there will always be that deep, creeping sense that you need to make up for lost time. Like, there was a large portion of your life that seemingly was wasted because this wasn't in your life, and that you've arrived just a little bit too late to the party. I mean, everybody else in the fandom seems to be quite young by comparison, and of course, they can get away with walking down the street in a fucking onesie if they want. They can get away with spiky blue radiant hair. I mean, at the end of the day, some of the people who come into this fandom are in their 40s, for God's sake, and they got office jobs. How the fuck are they supposed to live out vicariously like that? So this is where the midlife crisis thing kind of comes into play. Like, you're gonna want to spend a lot of money on a fursuit to catch up, go to a lot of cons to catch up. You're gonna try and do everything you can to be a part of this thing because you need to recapture what you didn't have in your youth. And how the fuck do you enter this thing in your 40s, you know? I mean, you've gone through your entire life in the same lane, keeping everything together, everything hidden, everything private, and then suddenly, bang! Look at all these young kids who can just do what they want, act how they want, dress how they want. I want to be like that, I want to go and do that, but I've got a fucking office job and a professional demeanor to maintain. I can't just do both, and... Like, can you see where the problem arises here for these poor souls that just seem to have grown up in the wrong era? And when you're looking at it all this way, you see all the scenarios, you weigh out the pros and cons, sometimes it seems like you're just picking the lesser of two evils, picking the shiniest of two turds, picking the warmest cup of PG tips. It's like it doesn't matter what you choose, it's going to be shit anyway, right? Well, in all honesty, yes. It's always gonna be shit. I mean, that's the way things are. So normally in these videos I end with a nice little clear message of what I think you should do to find a healthy middle ground, but in this sense I don't really think there is one. Or at least not one that I've seen yet, anyway. The key thing is that life is full of sacrifice. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you are sacrificing one thing for another. Now that could mean sacrificing time with your friends to go to work and earn more money. Or it could mean sacrificing more expensive things that you like and trips abroad to have more of a social life. Either way, there's always a payoff. There's always one thing you're getting and one thing you're missing out on. So you don't have a choice about whether you're going to sacrifice something or not. The only choice you have is what you're going to sacrifice and what you might gain from it. You better make sure that you're sacrificing something you can prepare to lose. You need to compromise on what you can and learn to play the hand you're dealt. Tell you what, let's use Aaron and his massive, obsessive love of slippers here as an example, okay?
Excuse me, my love of slippers?
Yeah, you're always going on about it. You never shut up. You see, he might literally want to wear slippers everywhere instead of shoes, and I mean literally, like go to the shops in them, go to work in them, but he knows that that's just not practical. He knows that he can't do that. He would not be allowed to go to work because it's not part of uniform policy. He would get ridiculed and shouted at in the streets. Christ, in this town he'd probably get fucking mugged. But that doesn't mean that he can't enjoy them. It doesn't mean that he can't wear them at conventions or at fur meets or at friends' houses or sometimes on the bus and train when he's feeling a bit, I don't know, like he wants to get punched by a dickhead on the train. Fucking idiot. It doesn't mean that you have to completely shut down that enjoyment. You can still just limit it and realise that, okay, sometimes it's appropriate, sometimes it's not.
So, my love of slippers, mine, are you sure? You sure me?
It's okay, Aaron, it's okay. I accept you for it. You can enjoy them all you like, it's okay. See, when it really boils down to it, this whole facade of being an adult is just an illusion based off of everyone else's perceptions and beliefs. You spend your entire life waiting and waiting for that day that you finally feel like an adult, and it never comes. You get older and older and you still don't feel like a grown-up or an adult, and you start to realise that perhaps nobody does, and we're all just going through life faking it as if we actually know what we're doing, and really, no, that whole sense of, I am a grown-up, I have matured, that doesn't fucking happen, that doesn't exist. But maybe that's the true trick of it, admitting that it's all a facade and then just learning how to fake it and get through the bits you can. I mean, obviously maturity is not something that should be feared, it's something that should be supported and encouraged, but you should really have a good idea of what that means. I mean, you need to mature to have responsibility for you, yourself, your life, everything. But, I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to just cut off bits of yourself and leave them behind just because you've hit some imaginary milestone. But anyway, you've heard me ramble on enough. Go and enjoy those loves that you like and feel happy that you have them. Enjoy them in the right settings and don't deliberately expose yourself to dickheads. Go and build that Lego. Go and watch that TV show. Go and cuddle all of your plushies and feel the happiness and joy that you should feel from all of that. And more importantly, protect yourself and stay safe from all the dickheads out there who want to tear it all down.